Hey everyone, welcome to Season 5, Episode 1 of the Choose UCalgary podcast. I'm so excited to kick off Season 5, and I can't wait to bring on so many more awesome guests this season. For those who are new listeners here, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us and tuning in today. My name is Aidyn, and I'm honored to be returning as the host for Season 5 for the Choose UCalgary podcast. So if you're new here once again, this podcast is geared towards, but not limited to, University of Calgary prospective students, where we will bring on current students and chat about different areas across the school, such as clubs, faculties, research, involvements, and our most important goal is to capture the student experience so that our future students, like you, can really get a feel for what it's like to be a student here at the University of Calgary. But I think now we should get into why everyone is really here today, and that is for the topic of today's episode. So today we will be talking about the Hunter Hub for Entrepreneurial Thinking and their awesome program called Launchpad. So I am joined here with a super special guest, the one and only Gillian, who is a chemical engineering student here at the University of Calgary, and she has been extremely involved in Launchpad. And I know Gillian very well. She is super hardworking, driven, and really turns her dreams into reality when it comes to pursuing ideas or passions. So I think she is the perfect guest for today's episode, and I really look forward to chatting with her on the podcast today. So with that being said, welcome, Gillian. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast today, and thank you for kicking off Season 5 with us.
Yes, of course, I'm happy to.
Awesome. So can you introduce yourself a little bit more and maybe just tell us a bit more about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Gillian Alm, and I just finished my third year of chemical engineering at the University of Calgary, and now I'm doing my internship for the next 16 months, and then I'll be back for my last year.
Ooh, exciting. How are you liking the internship so far?
It's been really great. Everyone's been so kind, and I've already learned so much. So, yeah, I'm so happy that I decided to do the internship.
That's really great. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. So, what made you initially decide to apply to the University of Calgary and the Schulich School of Engineering?
So I'm originally from Calgary, so I just decided it would probably be best to stay in Calgary, especially because the engineering program is so amazing here. It wouldn't really have made sense for me to go somewhere else. But yeah, kind of why I chose engineering is because I've always just loved science and math. So I thought it would be the right fit for me.
Yeah, it's definitely both of those things.
Yes.
Has it kind of been what you've expected so far or different?
Yeah, I think it's been pretty much what I expected. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed my time. I made some really great friends, and so they've been there to support me, and I've really liked it.
For sure. Yeah, it's definitely easier when you got your support system around you. And the University of Calgary definitely has endless amounts of support everywhere you look. So that probably for sure makes it easier.
Yes.
So, what would you say has been the highlight of the chemical engineering program so far for you?
I don't know actually. I guess in second year in the winter semester, I had the opportunity to participate in a research course. And so that was probably my highlight because it was such an interesting course and I got to have hands-on experience in a real research lab. So yeah, that was probably my highlight so far.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. Was it like a summer thing or did you take it alongside your classes?
Yeah, so I took it in the winter semester of my second year, and they just sent out an email, I think in first semester of second year, saying like, oh, we're trying this pilot program for second year students, and it actually counts as one of my fourth year electives. But yeah, they were just trying it out for second year students, and so I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I should apply. And then yeah, I ended up getting accepted, and it was so awesome.
Nice. You just got to do it sometimes because you never know until you try, and it could be like an amazing opportunity.
Yes, exactly. That's something that I've learned is any opportunity like that, you might as well at least apply because something really amazing might come out of it.
For sure, for sure. You never know unless you try. So, aside from that research opportunity, have you been involved in any other extracurriculars or experiential learning programs?
Yeah, so after that research course, we had a bunch of presentations during that course about entrepreneurship and kind of what could happen if your research was successful and you wanted to turn that into a business. And from those presentations, one of the presentations mentioned the Hunter Hub and the Launchpad program. And I thought it was super interesting. It was something I'd be really interested in, but at the time, I didn't really know what type of idea I would take to the program as my business idea. But then, yeah, in the fall of my third year, I saw the email come out like, oh, apply to the Launchpad program. I was like, oh, there it is again. And at the time, yeah, it kind of all just clicked for me because I've always been super passionate about skincare. So I thought, well, why not develop a skincare line with the Launchpad program? So that's what I've been involved with as far as extracurriculars go with the university.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool. So you said you're really passionate about skincare and you have this Hunter Hub Launchpad email coming your way and you said everything kind of just seemed to click. So before you talk about your skincare line, can you maybe elaborate a bit more on what is the Hunter Hub Launchpad program?
Yeah, so the Launchpad program is a program through the University of Calgary for students who are interested in entrepreneurship. And it's kind of just helps students take that first step and helps you to build a foundation of knowledge about entrepreneurship. Because I know, like, I personally really knew nothing about that. And so I just didn't really know where to go. So the Launchpad program kind of just helps you get you on your feet in that space.
Nice. So, sorry, when did you join it again? You said in your third year, right?
Yes, in the fall of my third year.
Okay, nice. And how have you liked the experience so far then?
It's been so great. Everyone at the Hunter Hub, the whole team there has been so supportive and they really just want you to succeed. So it's been a great experience.
So, what is your product? What was your idea? And maybe, I don't know, was there a story behind it or anything you want to share?
Yeah, so I've struggled with acne since I was 11 years old. So about 10 years. It's been quite a long time. And throughout the whole process, I went to countless different dermatologists and they were prescribing me all types of like harsh prescription drugs and topical creams and pretty much everything you could think of. And nothing really seemed to be working for me. And then eventually I just realized one day for myself, like, oh my gosh, my skin's so dry. And the dermatologist never mentioned, like, hey, you need to be moisturizing your skin while you're using all these harsh acne treatments. So I just began incorporating a moisturizer into my routine, and the change in my skin was pretty extreme. And I know that my situation isn't a one-off case. I think I was doing some reading and something like 1.6 million girls in Canada struggle with acne. And so, yeah, my idea for the Launchpad program was to found Balm Skincare, and we focus on providing free education to young women about skin health, as well as products to complement their new education so that they can have confidence in their skin.
That is so amazing. What was like the initial first step you took when you joined the program, or what should be the first step someone should take to join the program, I guess?
Yeah, so the first step to get into the program and get involved would be to fill out the application. It's just online. I know if you just watch your emails in the fall, I'm sure that you'll see a link for it, or you can just visit the Hunter Hub website. And then I think from there, there's just a link, and the application process is super easy. It's just like a Google form. And then, yeah, you'll just hear back from them in September, and you can kind of just go from there.
Nice. Yeah, I think I read that the application usually opens in August. Do you know if there's any specific eligibility requirements? Like, is it open to all faculties, students of all majors?
Yeah, so it's open to all faculties, which is something I actually really enjoyed about the program because I got to network with students outside of the engineering program that I probably would have never come into contact with otherwise. So that was really awesome. And I think for eligibility, the only requirement is that you're in your third or fourth year of your study.
Okay, nice. So it's definitely good to know about it earlier on then, so that when you are going into your third year that you are aware of this. So even though I guess a first year can't apply, it's still really cool to keep this on your radar and keep it in mind. If you are passionate about something, you do have that idea. I think this would be a really good opportunity for students to take advantage of. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. So I guess if there were students who were maybe considering it, but they're not sure, what would you say would be like the reason why they should apply and the reason why they should take interest in it?
I think that even if you're not sure, I know for myself, just attending the sessions every week was so helpful. I learned so much, especially if you're not a business student. I think it's really important to just get some sort of fundamentals in that area. And that's something that you aren't really going to get in your other classes. So that would be one reason that I'd really encourage them to do that. And then, yeah, you just never know where it might take you. So might as well try.
That's so true. Yeah. Is there rounds? Like, do people make it further than others? And what would be like the end result out of all of it?
Yeah, so when I participated in the program, we had the weekly sessions where you would learn about a different topic each week, like customer discovery or some other fundamental like that. And then there would be assignments that you'd complete every week. And I think in order to like continue with the program, you had to submit those assignments by the deadline. But then at the end of the program, there was actually a pitch competition. So that was another really interesting experience for me, something that I've never had to do as an engineering student. So yeah, it was really good. I think even for students to have that experience is really awesome because I know I personally am not the strongest public speaker. So it was really great to be pushed out of my comfort zone. And yeah, I ended up actually doing really well, and the team at the Hunter Hub really supported me and gave me lots of feedback before the competition. And so then I ended up winning the People's Choice Award in that competition. And then,
Wow.
yeah, so that was super exciting. It's great. I'm always surprised still when people are taking interest in my idea because this is so new to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, wow, it's so exciting.
That is so exciting.
Yeah, so for that competition, for the People's Choice Award, I think there was some cash with that prize, which is always awesome. And then from there, after that competition, there's actually another pitch competition that an application came out through the Launchpad program to kind of continue gaining that knowledge throughout the summer. Yeah, just from that, so many new opportunities are coming up, and it's just been great.
It's like all it takes is just that initial leap of faith at the start, and then you're going to be presented with further opportunities down the line. And all it takes is just that one application. Like you have to start somewhere, and then now look at you. You're, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, thank you. I know I never would have expected that. Like when I applied for the program in August of last year, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll learn something. I really wanted to get involved with the university in some way because I hadn't been involved in any clubs yet. So I just kind of did it thinking, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And now, 10 months later, it's actually come such a long way. And yeah, it's crazy.
That is. And even if you don't, let's say, win the final pitch or something, still the whole experience is so worth it. You learn so much, I'm sure. And I just think that even if students can even just learn that kind of stuff, like you said, that they might have not have been able to learn elsewhere, I think that it's super beneficial. And the people you'll meet as well outside of your faculty and the advisors are definitely going to be there to support you. And I just think that it's still worth it no matter what.
Yes, I completely agree. I think actually one of my favorite parts of the program was the networking that we got to do. That's something I also hadn't really experienced yet. So getting to talk to these fellow students and the advisors was such a great experience. And the connections that I made, even within the cosmetic industry from the program, are invaluable. I've had conversations with a couple different industry experts, the CEO of Rocky Mountain Soap Company. That was awesome. It's a brand I really admire. So yeah, the connections that you can make from the program make it worth it just from that.
Oh, for sure. That is so awesome. I also love that company. So that is really cool. Wow, that's just so interesting to hear about all these opportunities and experiences that can all start from one small thing.
Yeah, and I would really encourage anyone. Like, I personally still feel like I don't really know enough about business and that I still have so much to learn, but everyone supports you along the way and you can kind of just figure it out as you go. So, if that's what's holding you back, don't let it.
Yeah, don't feel like you need to know everything or have everything figured out right at the start. Like, that's what learning is about, and that's what is going to make your experience better.
Yeah, exactly.
Now's your time to sign up for the University of Calgary Open House. Our open house will be on Saturday, October 2nd at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Please click the link in the episode notes to register now. You won't want to miss it. So besides Launchpad or even besides like engineering, was there one or two or three, however many other things you wanted to say that maybe were your favorite about the University of Calgary, whether it's like the campus or just anything in general that you really like about the University of Calgary?
Yeah, so I guess I can mention when I went into my first year for the engineering program, it was really interesting. They put all the students into different blocks. So I was in block one, and I think there was four blocks, but in your block, you went with those students to every single class for the whole year. So that was something I really enjoyed about the University of Calgary because it made it so easy to make friends because you were seeing these familiar faces in every single class every day. And that was something that I really liked. It made it so easy to find people to study with. And I think that really made a big difference in my first year experience.
Yeah, that does sound like a great idea because that way you just see the same faces every day. And it's such a huge faculty as well. So it can also be a little bit intimidating. I know that the engineering complex, even just the building itself, it's so huge. It's very nice though. But yeah, lots of study spaces. And it's great if you can make those friends or just talk to someone in your class that you'll be seeing the rest of the year.
Yeah, it was really great. And at the beginning of the year as well, they have a bunch of programs. I know they had a pub crawl that I went on during like the first orientation week. And that's another thing that I would encourage everyone to do because that's kind of where I made my friends in the first week. And then it was really nice. Like the next morning when you saw them again, you could sit with them in class. And it was just really nice to have gotten to know someone.
Yeah, like outside of school events as well can definitely make a difference because then you can connect on other things just besides your classes.
Yeah.
Another thing, I guess, that I kind of wanted to ask you, what would you say is like the importance of being a woman in STEM? Just because I know that there is a lot of male engineering students, or so what would you say has been your experience with that so far?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because I personally hadn't really noticed. I was like, oh, like there's lots of girls in engineering. But then I realized, oh, wait, it's because all of my friends are the girls. Like we are the only five girls in this class, but I just didn't notice because I was seeing them every day. But no, yeah, I think that like all of the male friends that I made in first year were super supportive and yeah, I think if you can connect with the other girls in the program, you can make some really great friendships. I know I've made friendships that are going to last for the rest of my life. And yeah, don't be intimidated by that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great that you're able to just connect with the other girls as well and really just form those relationships that, yeah, you will have for the rest of your life. And you guys are all in this together and being there for to all support each other is the main thing.
Yeah.
To wrap up the episode, we're coming to an end. So, this is something that I really want to continue to do for every single episode of season 5 for the Choose UCalgary podcast. So, I want to ask all my guests this to end off. I just love hearing the different things everyone has to say. So, if you could give one piece of advice, one last tip to any prospective student who is considering the University of Calgary, what is the one thing that you would want them to know?
I think the piece of advice that I would give that I know I heard so much as a first year student is get involved. Just, yeah, become a part of some sort of club and get involved, whatever you think you'll be interested in. I know I heard that a lot when I was a first year student, but I was kind of like, oh, well, like I'm really busy with school and how important is that really? But since I have gotten more involved with the university community, that's when, I've had some really great opportunities and great connections, and it's really made a huge difference in my university experience.
Thank you for sharing that. I would honestly have to echo that as well. Definitely get involved. That's just great that it's made a huge impact on your university experience. It only goes up from there, and that's a really great piece of advice. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the Choose UCalgary podcast Hunter Hub Launchpad episode. Thank you so much, Gillian, for being here today and sharing all of your experiences and advice and telling us a bit more about the Launchpad program.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And so, as always, I also just want to give an extra special thanks to our listeners. Thank you so much for joining us for season 5 officially and for tuning in today to listen. So if anyone is interested in finding out more information about everything we discussed today, such as Launchpad, engineering, or even Gillian's skincare line, Balm, please take a look at the episode notes, as I will have everything linked there, as always, for you guys to just check out. And additionally, if you have any questions for me regarding the University of Calgary, such as the application process, or you just want someone to talk to you about UCalgary, please DM me on Instagram at choose.ucalgary, or you can send me a message on the University of Calgary Future Students Facebook page, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions on there. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today, Gillian, and our listeners. And that's all for now, so we will see everyone again soon in our next episode.